an hour and a half since we got on here.
To be completely honest, we have had so much. Well, Steph has had so much go on. And then there's just been things in life and where we are in the season. So I make no apologies.
None. Because we've seen each other a couple times this week, but like we didn't have time to talk.
Brief moments,
Yes.
like 2-3 minutes tops.
Yes.
2-3 minutes.
Which is not enough time.
No, my spidey ears were like, I think she's in her office. Let me. Like, oh, I was so excited that one day. I was like, I literally opened your door and I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't open it in case. So I was like, you were like, yeah.
This is now the third building that we've worked together in. That's weird.
The third and second to last.
Yes.
Building. We will
have a whole ass building to ourselves.
So we have a whole ass building house, whatever we're going to do to convert, or one of them sheds from Home Depot that will build into what we need it to be. I don't care.
Yep.
We'll figure it out.
We sure will.
That's the 5-year dream. It's going to be it. I'm manifesting it right now, speaking it into existence. I'm not paying anybody rent anymore. We will be together.
Mm-hmm. Forever.
And ever. And ever. Okay, anyways.
I can't wait for you guys to see this on YouTube. It's going to be great.
It's going to be so good. So good. The little Christmas tree in the background.
I know.
Well, this one will air in December still, so yes.
Yes.
Maybe I'll move all my shit out into the living room. Have mine in the background. Anyways, so today, welcome to this PS episode. Today, we are going to talk about another DBT skill. This one is somewhat near and dear to my heart. I think it's more near and dear than the please skill for sure, because I really love the middle part of this skill. So this is the ABC skill. So usually it is ABC please, but it doesn't matter what order that they go in. They both flow together. So another DBT skill, if all of you don't know what DBT is and you're just tuning in randomly, Steph and I have both done extensive work with dialectical behavioral therapy. And you have your certification, don't you?
Yep.
So we are both certified DBT therapists. Look at us. Oh my God. We're doing it. I'm so proud of us. So both certified DBT therapists. So we're bringing this information to you guys so that you can use it. So we've talked about it before that DBT has this, that's how I'll refer to it from now on because it's just easier. So DBT has umbrellas. And so in the emotional regulation umbrella, this is where that skill falls into place. So it is the ABC aspect of ABC please. You don't have to do both together, but that's just kind of how DBT sets it up. So Steph is going to kick us off because I don't have my book in front of me and I can definitely do the middle part.
Yes. Okay. So, well, first and foremost, emotion regulation is exactly what it sounds like, right? Like you are trying to regulate the emotions that you're experiencing. Some of the other ones are like distress tolerance. So when you are in a distressing situation, almost like a crisis situation, that's when those skills are used. But you can use them interchangeably depending on what you're going through and like what you need in that moment. So I just wanted to say that. Okay. So the A of the ABC skill is accumulate positive emotions. Do pleasant things that are possible now. That's like the short-term goal of this step or this skill. The long-term goal is to make changes in your life so that positive events will happen more often in the future, building a life worth living. That is like Marsha Linehan's tagline for DBT. Like that is, she is the creative. Yes. She's the creator of DBT. So if I'm thinking about doing something to accumulate positive emotions, my very first thought is working out. Because if I wake up in a shit mood, working out is going to help me feel better. Doing things like gratitudes, forcing myself to think about the things that I'm grateful for, the things that are going well, the things that I want to focus on versus like all the shit that's not going well. That's very easy to do. But who is that helping? Nobody.
Literally no one.
Right. So those are two examples that I can think of. What do you think of?
When I think of accumulating positives, I think about so it's hard for me to differentiate between the A and the B, right? Of we'll get into the B. So accumulating positives to me looks like figuring out like the different lists and task and habit trackers that I do with myself and being able to mark those things off. Or like I do a client, like, so for those of you who don't know, I feel like I've talked about it before, but I do a lot of bullet journaling. So in my bullet journals, I keep track of a lot of things. So I do a habit tracker in the sense of like what my workouts look like and the different goals that I set for myself. So coloring those little boxes in and being able to accumulate those things over the month's time and being able to see, having a visual representation is huge for me. I am definitely, I would say, a visual and hands-on learner. So like being able to see what I'm doing is great, but I have to do it in order to like see it and like make that connection in my brain. So that's a part of it. But then also, not only do I do like a workout tracker or a habit tracker, I do a client tracker, a bill tracker. And so then every time like I'm coloring off those little boxes, it's accumulating these positives of being able to be like, okay, I've paid my bills on time. I've done this on time. I've done these healthy habits for myself. I've meal prepped this. So that is my version of like being able to visually put it down and see it and then continue it through the month and then repeat it the next month and the next month.
Sure.
Working out obviously is a huge one for me. I feel like those are good examples. I don't feel like there's too many others that I do. I mean, maybe there are, right? But I feel like those are the very big ones that I do.
I think it's just more about focusing on like what makes you feel good, right? And like doing it consistently, like we always talk about. It's not consistency is what needs to happen, right? It's the same thing with learning any sort of coping skill or skill that we teach. You're not going to do it once and be like, oh, I'm fucking cured. I never have to talk to you again. Everything is great. That's not how that works. There's going to be days that sometimes shit doesn't work. That doesn't mean that you stop trying.
100%,
because then you're not showing up for yourself.
Absolutely. And the proof in the pudding, like the actual trying aspect, instead of viewing it as like, I failed, I did this. It's you showed up and you tried. It proves that you're in the arena, that you're actually trying. Like, so it'd be like sitting here watching, like obviously the World Cup is going on, you know, football games are going on. They're in the midst of their season. It'd be like sitting in the stands and watching the players and being like, oh, I can do that. Or like, oh, can you?
Correct.
Can you? Like you're not in the arena. Once you're in the arena, it doesn't matter how many goals that you missed. It doesn't matter how many shots that you took. It matters that out of those 80 shots that you took, that one that went in, that's the one that fucking counted. So that's the important part, is that what people don't understand. They're so hung up on this view of like, I don't want to fail. I don't want to do that. You've been failing your whole life. Your whole life has been an accumulation of failures that have led to the moment where you've succeeded, that have pushed you to the next level to be able to go to the next step. Like, think about it, like being a baby and learning how to walk. Like, nobody was like, oh, you fucking dumb baby, like you can't walk. Like, nobody's doing that. It's just like, oh, keep trying. There's that encouragement, and somewhere along the way we lose this encouragement. And I have my own thoughts on that, of like the generation before us being like, everybody deserves a participation trophy. Yeah, everyone does deserve a participation trophy. Like, how hard is it to just validate somebody and allow them to have this feeling of like accumulating positives, of being able to be like, hey, you shut up, you tried, we're proud of you for that, on to the next one. So that was a tangent, but I could really die on that hill because that's so upsetting to me. I'm like, everyone, there's no harm in telling somebody they did a good job and we're proud of you for trying, because it just builds and keeps continuing that spirit of like, I want to keep trying. I want to keep going. And eventually you keep trying, you keep going, you start to hit those marks, those goals that you set for yourself, and it pushes you forward. So yeah. So the B, I was gonna say, what's the B? The B is build mastery. So I don't have the book in front of me, so I'm going to discuss it, what it means to me, and then Steph will add in the book statements from it. So building mastery to me means building this set of skills that you have for this one certain task and being able to repeat them over and over again, so that it's releasing this dopamine in your head of that I am continuing this productive cycle because I am doing something that I know how to do and I feel good about doing it. So therefore it's coming back to I'm doing it and I know how to do it. I feel good about it. And so it's coming back. So it's just this continuous loop of feeling really good about what you're doing. So for example, like working out, the first time that you get a new workout planner, like the Burns, why can't I think of what Burns' thing is? Badass Burns, like why can't I?
The Babe Gang.
The Babe Gang, thank you. So the Babe Gang, in my mind, it's like that there's monthly calendars or something to that extent, right? So that in the beginning, it may feel like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. This is a new workout or it's a new thing. But as you go along through the month, you're building this mastery of I'm showing up every day and putting the work in, I'm doing these certain things. And it doesn't have to be the same exact workout every time, but it's the fact that you're building this repetition with these certain lists or these certain concepts or these certain activities that you're doing, and then you feel really good about yourself because the repetition, the consistency is just what is building that feeling, that confidence, where you feel like you can go attack other things, and then it starts to project into building mastery in other places where maybe you feel less confident.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. The actual definition in the book just says do things that make you feel competent and effective to combat helplessness and hopelessness, right? Like we're not going to feel like shit and then be like, I'm going to try a new sport today that I probably am going to suck at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm going to take up crocheting, even though I think it's terrible. This is not to say like, don't try new things, but if you're not in a place where you feel confident in trying new things, don't set yourself up for failure. You know what I'm saying? Like,
please don't.
Yeah.
Please just do what you know. Do what you know, and that's completely okay. Like there's so many times where I talk to people about cooking is such a mindfulness skill, and it's also so good for like just yourself, your self-efficacy and things like that. So I set out menus or like meal plans for people, and so I'm like, okay, here's the one recipe that I always go to is Mississippi mud roast. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat anymore, but that is the one that I give to everybody.
It's so easy.
It's so simple. It is so easy. And I'm like, this is something that you repeat time after time, week after week, and not get sick of. And so once you see that you're doing this, you like it, it's providing, then the next week you're doing it, you're like, it's just building, it's stacking. Like if you think about Legos, just stacking this feeling of like, wow, I'm providing for myself, I'm taking care of myself, I'm preparing for the week for myself, I'm showing myself that I matter, that I care. Like that's the importance behind it, and that's what building mastery is. It's doing one thing and doing it to the nth degree of like I know how to do this versus like I'm going to try baking macaroons today.
Literally.
Why?
Yes.
You're setting yourself up for failure.